Warning: this episode contains graphic descriptions of parasites, eye stalks that pulsate like disco worms, suicidal bugs, and some speculative science that might be a little fleshy. We also reference mind control, zombification, and possibly inappropriate jokes about butt eggs. Listener discretion is advised. And if you're eating escargot, maybe pause until later.
Butt eggs. Welcome to Mutant Hollow, where real science meets speculative horror. We are your guides into the weirdest corners of nature, from undead fungi to brain-hacking parasites. Each episode, we dig into a real biological oddity and ask, could this make a zombie? Today's case, the zombie snail. Yeah, it's real, and it's disgusting. Let's go. But this isn't just one episode. It's the start of a 3-part Parasite series. In part 1, today's show, we're covering some of the strangest and most infamous parasites. The disco ball snail invader, Leucochloridium paradoxum, the horsehair worm that drowns crickets, the castrating barnacle that rewrites crab anatomy, and a few other body-snatching horrors. In part 2, we'll dive into more parasites that are equal parts fun and grotesque. Expect laughter, lots of gagging, and plenty of horrified oh-no's. And in part 3, we'll wrap it all up with hypothetical scenarios, speculative science, and some of my hilariously horrifying vet school parasite tales. So grab your microscope, or maybe just a barf bag, and settle in.
Welcome back to the show that gives you science, nightmares, and probably some questions about your last salad. I'm Amber, your neighborhood microbiologist and lifelong avoider of raw snail consumption. But I also need to give everyone a little bit of a disclaimer that this parasite is really near and dear to my heart because it has the unique and horrifying ability to make me gag every single time I think about it. So I'm just warning you now that I'm going to try to cut out all of my gag noises throughout the episode, or at least some of them, for all of my fellow sympathetic gaggers out there. But I might save a few and compile them at the end for those sickos among you who might find that kind of hilarious. And you're welcome.
And I'm Stacy, your resident creature doctor, lover of all things wriggly, twitchy, and only sometimes covered in slime. Actually, I really like slimy critters. I have to be honest. If there's a slug in the middle of the trail, I move it so it doesn't get squashed. Today kicks off our 3-part deep dive into parasites, the organisms that hijack brains, take over behaviors, and turn animals into unwilling puppets.
You're the puppet master.
Master?
Yeah, master.
Master. Obey your pulling your strings. What is wrong with us?
I don't know.
Diagnose me.
No. And we're starting with a classic, Leucochloridium paradoxum, aka the zombie snail parasite. This thing will crawl into your soul, or at least your eyeballs.
Leucochloridium paradoxum is a flatworm, a trematode. Its larva... Wait, do you want to hear this life cycle?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It says starts out with bird poop. Come on.
I know, it's really good. So the larvae of the worm are in bird poop, and then that poop is gobbled up by a land snail. Typically the amber snails.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Amber, this is your fault. This is all your fault, and you're gagging about it.
Can I make a pause and just say the word trematode is so freaking cute?
Trematode is good. Yeah. Trematode is more evocative than flatworm, I think. Like, trematode sounds alien, like it's going to eat you, like something from Star Trek, or a zombie worm. So, once the worm is inside of the snail, it asexually reproduces. Do we know what asexually means, friends?
Let's hear it.
It means that they don't need a partner to get it on and make babies. They just split themselves in half, and or they make their own eggs, and then they pop their own eggs out, already fertilized.
That's
so
pretty
I'm
metal.
going to use a word here that actually is one of my top no-no words. This is a no-no word. You're not supposed to say it. Oh, so once the trematode is in the snail, it asexually reproduces and creates giant, here's the word, throbbing. Let's just say that again because you're not supposed to say it. Throbbing. They're called broad sacs, which are worms. They're worms that crawl up into the eye stalks of the snail. And that's what we can see with the pulsing. The sacs are green and yellow, and they're like a Vegas light show, but they mimic the movement and the coloration of caterpillars. So specifically to bait birds to eat the snail and the worm together.
I tried so hard not to fucking gag.
You did so good. Do you want me to say the word throbbing again to make throbbing broad sacs?
Oh, no. God.
Yeah, then they call the snail a greenback brood sac. Yeah. Throbbing brood sac. Gross. I don't really like this at all anymore. I thought this was going to be fun because parasitic zombie stories make me happy, right? Like that makes me happy. But this particular descriptor of this particular parasite, while the parasite itself is fascinating, the descriptors that somebody used for them are like really viscerally upsetting.
I can't even. Like my ribs literally hurt.
Oh no. So if I ever need to upset you, I just need to say throbbing brood sac. Or we add in the common name for the parasite, which is green-banded brood sac.
Oh, fuck.
So a throbbing green-banded brood sac.
I can't.
This is the world we live in. Do you see why we're excited for the zombie apocalypse?
I can't even.
I want to meet the scientist that named it. I want to sit down with that human and have a discussion about nomenclature.
I don't want to discuss this anymore.
We still have like an hour and a half of this to talk about. Right. Okay.
Focus.
Yeah, today's hard. Right.
Okay. So you're telling me this worm throws in a little parasitic drag and then goes Cirque du Soleil just to get eaten?
Exactly. And the cool thing is the parasite changes the snail's behavior too. So typically, snails don't like to be in sunlight because they dry up, right? So these friends like to be on the forest floor. Some of the species are actually nocturnal. But when they are infected with this particular parasitic trematode, whose name we shall not mention, he who must not be named. This particular trematode, Mr. Leuco, makes the snail go against its typical behavior. This might sound familiar, so that it seeks out bright areas. And the reason for that is if it's really bright out, those green-banded brood sacs are discoing in the eye stalks, and that attracts the particular bird that is required for the parasite to complete its life cycle. So usually like ravens or crows, corvids, it likes corvids. I think it likes sparrows too. Yeah. So birds that predate on insects and crustaceans are the ones that the parasite is trying to attract to the snail.
Gross.
Yeah.
Before you go on, would you paraphrase what the parasite is basically saying?
So the parasite is basically saying to the snail host, hey girl, let's go get sacrificed. Can't believe you made me say that. My dignity.
Where?
You made me say throbbing, and you made me say, hey girl, let's go get sacrificed? Like, come on. I'm a doctor.
Yeah, you are. Hell yeah. So when you said it sounds familiar, are you referring to cordyceps infection in ants?
I am. Yeah. Yeah. And actually, it's a really common theme for behaviorally altering parasites throughout the animal kingdom, that they change the behavior of the host to better facilitate the parasite life cycle, which is why it's such a beautiful starting place for a zombie apocalypse. And why it's so horrifying to humans, right? Because we hate to lose control. And the thought of losing control and having another being manipulate our behavior completely against what is typical for us, just so it can complete a life cycle, like it really leads lovely right into horror fiction and zombie apocalypse theory.
You're right. That is lovely. That's love
lovely.
that.
Yeah.
And another point I wanted to make that one of our listeners mentioned was if other organisms, like rabies or other viruses, could somehow mutate or modify to live in a bird's digestive tract.
I think brood sac is a made-up word.
Stop saying that. I don't want to hear it again.
Brood sac.
But if birds were able to carry rabies in its digestive tract and then poop it out somewhere, and rabies was hardy enough to live in the environment for extended periods of time, that would be so cool, because then zombie apocalypse.
Well, and here we are along the same lines. This particular trematode parasite decided that it was tired of staying on the forest floor and it wanted to expand its range, that maybe it could start to infect mammals rather than crustaceans, and use its bird hosts in the same way to disseminate itself throughout the world, and then suddenly we are all infected with a trematode. Can you imagine what your eyeballs would feel like when that was happening?
Gross.
Sorry. Oh god, sorry. Too much.
Oh god, the disco in the eyeball. I can't.
Your eyeballs are pulsing.
Okay. We're doing great.
Deep breathing.
I think I'm crying.
Listen to the sound of my voice. You're in a safe, warm glade in the forest. There's a cool breeze. There's birds singing. You look down on your foot and suddenly there's a snail crawling up the side of it.
You're the worst. I was getting all drawn into it too. I was like, yeah, forest. Hell yeah.
You notice something odd about the snail. It seems more gregarious than you would expect. for a forest dweller. And then you see movement, abnormal pulsing, and a green tinge. Shit. I made me lose my voice.
Stop. You're killing me, Stacy. Oh my god, I'm literally crying now. You ruined my life.
All the birds in the glen start to pay very close attention to that snail on your foot.
Fuck, you're still going.
Something weird is happening. There's throbbing. See there? Throbbing is... I just can't.
Hold on. I gotta get my shit together. Could we just use this moment to drop a little teaser and let everyone know that we are gonna do a zombie meditation series, and it's not gonna be as disgusting as this, and there will be no gagging, but it's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be disgusting. Am I gonna participate in it?
Yeah.
Am I gonna be part of that? Then
yeah.
Yes, it's gonna be disgusting.
Okay, well, I'll do the first one. just to get them hooked, and then you can go ahead and candy flip them.
Damn it, there you go again. Raw dogging, candy flipping. I can't deal. Kids these days.
We're never gonna finish this episode.
Oh, it's gonna be hard.
Dude.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you were about to go into some information before I asked you to say, hey girl, let's go get sacrificed. Do you remember what it was?
Fuck no, that was like 3 seconds ago. I'm a goldfish over here. I mean, I was just gonna talk about, like, the snail actually getting eaten.
Okay, how is this not already a horror movie?
It is. It's just happening really slowly in the forest. It's a slow burn horror movie.
Nice. So, does the snail die?
Well... Sometimes, yes, right. It depends on how overzealous the bird is trying to get the parasite out of the snail. But sometimes they don't die. Sometimes the bird is able to grab the parasite in the eye stalk and pull the parasite out of the body cavity of the snail.
Oh my god.
But snails are really, really cool. Snails and slugs, that type of animal, have amazing regenerative abilities. So if you cut off their eye stalks, many species will be able to slowly regrow their eye stalks. And they don't necessarily have to have eyes to navigate their environment. The other cool thing about this parasite is it takes over all of the body functions. And we know that reproduction is a high energy consumption body function. The parasite needs that energy to do its pulsing. So it actually stops breeding in snails that are infected. It chemically, quote-unquote, castrates them so that they're not using energy to breed while the parasite is in their body. But if the parasite is removed, if the bird eats the parasite along with the eye stalk, then eventually, if that snail doesn't die, they're able to regrow their eyes and they're able to restart reproduction again in some cases. But the thing is like, if a bird is trying to eat you and you're a worm, like, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to delicately pick off your eye stalk because that's where the worm is. It might just eat the snail too. So yes, they can live, but it's not all the time. And when they do live, that's a horror show right there. Running around with no eyeballs, no balls in general.
Oh no.
Gonads. Gonads.
I wish you could see the horrified and disgusted look on my face right now, because that whole time you were talking, I was just looking like I was watching a horror movie, but I didn't remember that the pulsing was for attracting the birds, like a lure.
Yeah, it is. It's like a bird fishing lure. Like you're fishing for sky carp.
So gross.
Wait, pigeons are sky rats? Is that right? Sky rats?
No, they're not.
No, they're super cute. And crows, too. Crows are the best.
I love crows.
Corvids are fantastic.
So it's basically regenerating a tentacle and getting reinfected for infinite misery.
It could be. Yeah, infinite. Yeah, because then if that poor, same, sad snail has lived long enough and here we go. What if you're in a small ecosystem, a crow eats your eye stalks with your worms, you happen to regrow your eye stalks, and you're motoring around in the same beautiful glade, and that crow family actually lives in that glade. The parasite completes the life cycle, the crow poops out the larva, and you have the profound bad luck to find that pile of poop and eat it and go through the whole thing again.
That's what you get for eating poop.
I mean, somebody's starving somewhere. You're gonna eat the poop. What if we don't know it because we're a human, and I don't think many of us will voluntarily eat bird poop? And also, we have very different taste sensations and general sensations from crustaceans. But what if that bird poop is like ambrosia? It's the most wonderful thing that you could possibly eat. What if there's an attractant for the snails in the poop? And what if that parasite is just that well evolved for its particular life cycle that it smells great? It looks great, and it tastes great.
It's disgusting. Poop ambrosia. I can't. Parasite-infected poop ambrosia. I can't. I can't.
That's our new fine dining restaurant.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Sponsored by Snail Talks, Brood Sack Eye Cream. Tired of boring, lifeless eye stalks? Want to be the flashiest thing in the underbrush? Go get infected with style. Snail Talks pulsates up to 80 times. What? Snail Talks pulsates up to 80 times per minute to draw the gaze of even the pickiest bird. With nourishing slime protein and brainstem extract, it's the go-to for that wormcore aesthetic. Snail Talks, because beauty is in the eye stalk of the beholder. Warning, may result in dismemberment. Not FDA approved. Not real. Please don't rub parasite sacks on your face. Oh, God.
You got through it. I promise we won't give you any parasitic worms.
Ew.
We talked about the Leucochloridium. That's horrible. The life cycle of the bird eats it, the bird poops it out, the snail eats it, the bird eats part of the snail, and the cycle just continues. And we talked about how that particular parasite directly modifies the behavior of the snail so that the parasite can complete its life cycle by forcing the snail to go out in sunlight in the daytime and to go in areas where the parasite doing its throbbing brood sac act can attract the birds to eat the parasite. It's so elegant, right? I hated parasitology in school, but this is an elegant way to go about your life, to reflect
I like
on
how
the
you
elegance
call
of
this whole process elegant. So some things that I found interesting were the parasite's internal colonies may make up as much as 20% of the snail's total weight, which I think is pretty gnarly. That's a lot of eggs. So the most mature branches of this parasite colony develop in the long brood sacs that crawl into the snail's eye stalks, each sac packed up with 100 to 250 parasite larvae, waiting for the chance to continue developing. And these are the very sacs that transform the snail's appearance into that of a wriggling worm. And another thing that I found that was cool was how the parasite hijacks the snail's mind. So not only does Leucochloridium physically occupy the snail's eye stalks, but it also manipulates the snail's behavior for the parasite's benefit. So for this reason, scientists classify it as a neuroparasite, meaning that it can infect and alter the host's nervous system.
We don't know if it changes chemical messengers or if it's a mechanical change to the nervous system or if it is, instead of a photophobia, they have a dark phobia or a shadow phobia and they're trying to avoid shadow. We don't actually know because we don't really understand a snail's, there's no way that we could understand their perception of their world, right? We can guess at it, but we don't know how they're perceiving their environment and their world for real.
Right. Which makes it extra cool that the parasite is able to take whatever knowledge it has of the snail and modify it and manipulate it for its benefit. Another thing that I found interesting was the parasite physically disables the snail's ability to retract its tentacles since the brood sac swells the eye stalk so much, so it can't do its escape mechanism of retracting back into its shell. So for the Leucochloridium parasite life cycle, the reason why it doesn't adapt to humans too well is the parasite is highly specialized to its specific hosts, so certain snails and bird species, and they can't complete its life cycle in humans or other animals, just like some of those other parasites that we had mentioned. Paradoxum evolved alongside the land snails and the small birds, and it's finely tuned to those creatures' biology. So, for instance, the parasite's larvae can only develop properly inside of particular snail species, not just any snail, but typically amber snails. And if a different animal accidentally swallowed the eggs, say a small mammal or a reptile, the parasite would fail to find the environment it needs to live in, and it would not successfully turn that animal into a zombie. So, in fact, even among birds, the parasite shows some specificity. And this narrow host range is good news for us because if we accidentally ingest one of these little creatures, it means that the parasite poses no direct threat to humans. And even if one somehow ingested an infected snail, our warm-blooded system is not suitable for the parasite's survival. So we have different body temperatures than the avian species. So in laboratory settings, scientists have experimentally fed the parasite to chickens and other birds to study it, but its cycle still relies on snail bird progression in nature.
I was going to say, It's pretty interesting that birds in general run hotter than mammals for our body temperature, but snails are much, much, much colder. So it's fascinating that in different parts of the life cycle, this particular parasite is okay with really low body temperature animals and really high body temperature animals.
But that's also a trigger where it changes from larvae to eggs, though, or it triggers the next step in its cycle, right? Doesn't it transform once it gets ingested?
Yeah, so the worm in the snail is full of eggs, but when it gets eaten by the bird, the temperature and the pH and just the microenvironment of the bird gut triggers the eggs to hatch and grow into larvae. And then when they're pooped out, there's something in the snail that ingests the poop that triggers those larvae to become adults and start to reproduce in the snail.
Yeah. They're also particular to environment, ecology, and that's why they're specific to certain regions or certain parts of the world, because they only like certain environmental stuff too.
Elegant. And probably the only reason why we don't have them causing a zombie apocalypse right now, because they're so host specific and life cycle specific.
So can you tell us why the Leucochloridium parasite isn't infecting humans and everything else?
Yeah, because these types of parasites have such a complex life cycle. They are so particular in their hosts that it's extremely rare for them to be able to survive and even move forward with their life cycle out of the host that they have evolved to infect, which is probably the only reason why us humans don't have any direct worm parasites that will infect us and manipulate our behavior. There's some other parasites that we'll perhaps talk about in later episodes that are not worms that may actually affect human behavior and could also be perhaps argued to be an origin of a zombie apocalypse. But today we're strictly discussing parasitic worms, which do not infect humans and change their behavior. We don't have a parasite like snails or the praying mantis.
Was that a teaser for a future episode?
Well, I thought I just did. Wasn't that like a good hint? Do you want more hints?
Can you sing that Britney Spears song? Or something?
Do I look like I listen to Britney Spears?
You were wearing a Hellraiser shirt yesterday, but you could have a Britney Spears one in there somewhere. I don't know.
So the other parasite that I thought we should chat about today also alters its host behavior and is equally as disturbing and or disgusting and or fascinating and beautiful, depending on how you look at these things. It's a hairworm. I'm just going to leave that right there for a second.
No.
A hairworm.
Like it.
Just imagine that.
No.
Imagine what that might look like.
I want to.
So there's a lot of different species, so I'm just going to give you a generalization of this particular parasite, if that's okay.
Okay.
Horsehair worms, sometimes called Gordian worms, have long entwined themselves within folklore. These long, thread-thin worms, which can grow inches or even feet long, develop inside insects like crickets and grasshoppers, only to burst out when they're ready to reproduce. In centuries past, people who found these worm-like strands wriggling in horse troughs and puddles believed in eerie superstition that fallen horsehairs magically turned into worms upon touching water. It certainly must have looked that way. Imagine peering into a still trough and seeing what looks like animated horsehairs coiling in the water. This myth gave horsehair worms their common name and even a legendary status as creatures born of curses, reinforcing the idea that stagnant water could spawn life in mysterious ways.
I think this is why a lot of people put goldfish in their stock tanks.
Really?
Yeah, they eat little red worms and little horsehair worms and stuff, so they put fish in stock tanks for their horses and cows, and it keeps the parasites down.
Oh, I thought it was for mosquitoes, to eat mosquito larvae.
Oh, that too.
Interesting.
I've only ever seen those little red worms. I don't know what they are.
Oh yeah, I know those. They clump up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Gross. Researchers have witnessed up to 32 worms spilling from one hapless cricket. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
You need a minute to collect yourself. The freed worms knot together in the water, hence the name Gordian worm, after the inextricable Gordian knot of legend, and immediately seek mates, writhing and reproducing in a tangle that might equal the weight of the host they just killed.
Oh, God. Beyond the gross out factor, horsehair worms have even influenced local ecosystems and perhaps fishermen's lore.
In some streams, so many crickets turn into worm-driven suicides that they rain down into the water in droves, becoming an unexpected feast for fish. One study found that parasitized suicidal crickets made up 60% of a trout's diet in certain areas, thanks to the worms causing insects to leap to their deaths. One can only imagine early anglers observing a sudden abundance of bugs flinging themselves into streams and invented supernatural explanations like water spirits luring insects, perhaps, before science unraveled the true cause. Even today, the horsehair worm's antics inspire dark humor and conspiracy theories. Some internet users jokingly or not so jokingly spin tales of government mind control experiments involving horsehair worms infecting people. Fear not, these parasites thankfully do not target humans. All told, from medieval superstition to modern meme, the horsehair worm's ability to puppet its host has left an imprint on our collective imagination, serving as a real-world example of nature's most nightmarish zombies.
It most commonly affects praying mantis species. So, the ultimate undergrowth predator. Like, really creepy looking and super cool.
Yeah.
And the praying mantis life cycle is fascinating as well. So this particular hairworm will infect a praying mantis. And to complete its life cycle, the hairworm has to be in contact with water. But praying mantises avoid water. They get their water intake from dew and or from their prey. So they don't seek out like a body of water or a puddle or a stream or a lake. They actually avoid bodies of water. But this particular hairworm parasite forces the praying mantis to seek out bodies of water. It forces the praying mantis to jump in the water to drown itself, so then the hairworm can be released from the body cavity into the water to complete its life cycle. And then it just keeps on going. So you can find a praying mantis in water with long, round worm structures protruding from the back end of its abdomen.
What?
Yeah.
That's
there's
disgusting.
some pictures. There'll be
Gnarly.
pictures on our website. Yeah. Hairworms. Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
So does the praying mantis drown?
Yeah, they drown. And even if you find one flailing in the water and you want to try to save it, just the sheer trauma from having that much worm in their abdomen, they usually die, even if you save them.
Gross. And then a bird or a waterfowl will come up by and see it and eat this thing with hair worms sticking out of its butt.
No, because they don't really need the praying mantis to get eaten. They need the water. They need to be in the water.
And then
Does
it
that make sense?
leaves eggs in the water. What's the next step of its life cycle?
So the spaghetti-like worms live in the water for a period of time, for a part of their life cycle. So they have to be submersed in water. So for the hairworms, the life cycle, once the adult worms have drowned their host and are free in the water source, they'll reproduce. And the water insects like mayfly larvae are really common everywhere. They're ubiquitous. They will eat the eggs, and then the eggs will stay in the mayfly larva as it transforms into an adult mayfly. And the praying mantis, they really like flies as part of their dinner, their takeout, their grub hub is flies. And so they eat the mayfly with those encysted parasite eggs, and then the eggs hatch and grow into the hairworm. And then the hairworm hijacks the praying mantis, makes it commit suicide by drowning, and then the life cycle just keeps going and going and going. The populations, like 90% of the praying mantids are infected by hairworms.
Gross.
Adult worms will breed in the water. So they have to be in the water to breed.
And then the eggs get consumed by the vector species?
By the mayfly, yeah. Yeah, mayflies are water larvae, water insect larvae. Yeah. And the parasite insists, which I love that word. A lot of parasites make cysts in one host of their life cycle, where they're protected from their immune system and the body's typical structures that might get rid of them, and they just have this little capsule that they sit warm and safe in until they're ready to continue on with their life cycle. In dead-end hosts, those encysted parasite larvae can actually cause some pretty significant disease.
Gross.
And for this one, we don't necessarily have to worry about an aberrant host reaction, but for some parasites who are exquisitely specialized, if they get in an aberrant or dead-end host, something that's not part of their natural life cycle, they can get stuck, and then they can actually cause disease that's unrelated to what they would normally cause in their regular host species, but can be absolutely devastating.
So mutation for a parasitic organism is going to be completely different than mutation for an infectious agent like a bacteria or virus, right? Because multicellular organisms do not mutate quickly and easily, because your bacteria and viruses are made for that, especially virus, programmed to mutate and trick your immune system so they can infect you without being cleared out too quickly, so it has time to pass from person to person. And with parasitic organisms, the one detriment they have, if we're talking about the recipe for a pandemic with factors like lethality, transmission, and mutation and things like that, I feel like these don't have a really good mutation ability, but I'm wondering if we're talking about ecological mutation or adaptation for environmental changes like temperature changes, global climate change, or a laboratory mutation. And I don't know why this would be used in a laboratory setting, but I'm wondering if maybe there could be some therapeutic advantage. So laboratory scientists might modify it in some way, which would adapt it to human transmission or something like that. Do you have anything to say about the mutation ability or some of our recipe components that could be modified to make this a little bit more successful as a zombie agent?
Yeah, I think when we're thinking about pandemic potential for a parasite, I think it's like exquisitely low. I would say there would be some crazy shit that would have to happen for a parasite to lead to a pandemic level problem. That being said, I think that there are some perhaps plausible theories as to how a parasitic infection could perhaps lead to a zombie apocalypse. I don't necessarily think that it's reasonable to track a timeline for natural evolutionary mutation, and these particular types of parasites are unlikely to be used from a therapeutic standpoint, although some parasites can lend protective powers for other diseases to the immune system, which is crazy, and I think that we should do a mini episode about that particular process. Yeah, there's some GI parasites in mammals that can actually boost immune protection for other illnesses, like certain types of cancers and other types of bacterial infections. So if an animal has a particular GI parasite, they might be resistant to enteric or GI infections like Salmonella or E. coli. Very interesting.
So I know we're probably hopefully going to do a whole episode on this in the future, but I just want to say this is one of my most favorite things, and maybe my only favorite thing about parasitic infections, is the way that it modifies the immune system. When you're infected with a parasite, there are like a few different arms of your immune system. So you have IgE mediated, which is an antibody. And if you have an increase in your IgE antibodies, it alters your immune system. So if you have environmental allergies, if you have chronic allergies, and you're using a lot of your IgE antibody, which is usually for allergens, and you take it and direct it towards something specific, like an actual infection, a parasitic infection, that IgE is mediated, you're actually taking your immune system away from stuff that is not harmful, like pollen, and you're redirecting it towards something that is harmful or could have the potential to be harmful, like a parasitic infection, like tapeworm or something like that. Repairing your body's immune system to no longer attack things that are not harmful, like pollen and dander and cat and dog allergies. Some people do have medical treatment where, to treat their allergies, they drink parasite eggs, which I wouldn't recommend, because you should do that in a setting where those parasites aren't going to hurt you or move to their next stage in their cycle. But it is a treatment for allergies. And this is the reason why rabies was used for a vaccine against Ebola, for example, or something like that, because it's not necessarily targeting the specific thing that you're looking for, but you're triggering the immune system in a way that it naturally produces its own cells and chemokines or cytokines or chemical messengers that we talked about previously that target the specific thing that you're infected with or that you're suffering from. And another one, just on a side note, I worked in an infectious disease laboratory and cancer research laboratory. And when they were doing research, they found out that a staph infection, say they got a cut and they got stitches and it got staph infection, they found out that staph infection actually reduces cancer cells from growing. And it's because it modifies your immune system to target the staphylococcus, and also it triggers the immune system to also see that cancer better. So there are different arms of the immune system, and if you can trigger one instead of the other, like one in error, for example, environmental allergens, then you can manipulate the immune system to target what you want. So I love that you mentioned that, because this IgE-mediated immunology is something that can be used therapeutically in humans. I mentioned earlier that there aren't a lot of therapeutic advantages to consuming parasites, but that's not true. It actually relieves allergies.
Wild.
But there are some parasitic infections that do affect humans, like rat lungworm, but they don't modify behavior. The reason why this particular parasitic infection, even though it doesn't have a high mutation ability, if it did somehow get modified, or if humans were modified to adapt to the snail infection as an ecological advantage, for example, for survival. So if we were infected with something that was killing us and then shut down parts of our brain just for survival, like if there was something that infected the brain in such a way that was killing our frontal lobe and our body's mechanism was to turn us into a zombie just for survival, then we could be some sort of walking zombie. I mean, there are a few things like rabies. Brain damage does things that make you seem zombie-like afterwards. But I was thinking the reason why this parasitic infection is special is because it modifies behavior, and it has neurodegenerative properties or behavior modification properties. So that's why taking over or hijacking the brain is one mechanism that would make you zombie-like. So I think that's why this is one of our super special organisms that could potentially lead to a zombie apocalypse, or one of the avenues. Right?
Yeah. The behavior modification of it is the part that we will make cohesive when we're talking about zombie fiction associated with parasite zombies.
Yeah, stay tuned. I would like to theorize why or how either the parasite or we would evolve to have this jump to humans or modify human behavior. But if humans were a little bit dumber and if our brain system was a little bit less complex, like an idiocracy, then maybe we could be manipulated more easily by a parasite like this.
So you're saying give it a few years and then there's a chance?
Do you think our brain would have to change pretty fundamentally, or do you think that the organism would have to change to accommodate our complex brain structure?
I think it would probably be a combination of both. My theory, to make it at least plausible, is that, and this is going to be a little bit weird, but with the changing in our climate and the fluctuations in general Earth temperature, there's a melting of a particular glacier ice cap that exposes a historic parasite that affects humans, an historic parasitic worm that affects humans or human-like species. So maybe it's like old enough that it was one of our ancestor species, like Neanderthal or Pithecus? What is the name of that? Regardless, that used to affect an ancient humanoid species that now we are exposed to, and our immune system, our neurons, our brain system doesn't have any defense mechanism against it, and we have no knowledge of that parasite. Somebody becomes infected, then we start to be the life cycle host for that particular parasite who hijacks our behavior and works to spread itself, similar to rabies, through saliva, the eggs in the saliva, the affected human modified behavior to attack other humans and bite, therefore transferring the parasite eggs that live in our salivary glands to another host species and work through the life cycle that way.
I love that theory, because some of those parasites or other infectious agents or organisms that are frozen in glaciers right now, and more of them are being recovered and thawing out and found to be alive or able to be reanimated. But some of those may already be adapted for simpler human minds, like the Neanderthals. And so it may not be a large jump to go from a Neanderthal brain to the modern human brain.
Yeah. And since we're so far removed, thousands and thousands, or perhaps even millions of years removed from that, our immune systems may have no knowledge of that particular parasite, and we may have no protective mechanisms at all. So it could take over rather quickly before we evolved to have some protective mechanisms against it.
Ooh, that's our avenue. That's it. That's melting glaciers would be a very elegant theory about how this can happen. And so it may be just a matter of time before we find some of these organisms that are particularly adapted for human-like species.
May not have wiped us out in the past if we had one, because our populations were so small and so scattered that perhaps there weren't enough humans to be in contact with each other for something like a zombie parasite to take us out and make us extinct before modern humans involved. But perhaps now, since we have such close contact, there's so many of us and we hop around all over the world pretty easily, it makes it more likely that a parasite that we've never seen before, have no idea what it is or even how to look for it, could easily spread to a large amount of the population and perhaps be our avenue for a pandemic standpoint.
Airplanes and airplane travel are the perfect pandemic vector. It's the perfect vector for transporting an organism or an infected person from one part of the world to the other. And I think in our recipe for a pandemic, translocation of that organism is definitely perpetuated by plane the best.
I mean, travel via plane is a beautiful privilege that we have to see the world, but also a really good transport mechanism for pathogen.
Leucochloridium's transport vector would be the bird, but ours is an airplane.
Yeah.
So I looked it up and it says Australopithecus is one of the most famous early hominins, a genus of upright walking primates that are closely related to modern humans. They're considered a key transitional species between more ape-like ancestors and the genus Homo, which includes Homo sapiens or us. Their name means southern ape, and they lived 4 to 2 million years ago.
There you go.
So not yet, but imagine if we had a version that triggered ocean walkies and humans during a full moon.
That reminds me of the Twilight movie where she jumps into the ocean because she did ocean walkies.
If she did that in the movie, it would have made the movie better. Let's talk about Sacculina carsoni. It's a parasitic barnacle that infects crabs. But it doesn't just attach to them. It injects itself into the crab, spreads root-like tendrils inside its body, castrates it, and overrides its hormones. Infected males begin acting like females, tending to the parasite's eggs like their own.
It's giving ice your reproductive system and your will to resist. The crab hacker barnacle, Sacculina's horror show.
Are you ready for some real-life body horror?
Hell yeah.
We've got a parasite straight out of the sci-fi nightmare. It's called Sacculina carsoni. It's an innocuous-sounding barnacle, actually known as the parasitic castrator of crabs. And trust me, it's earned that title. It basically hijacks a crab's body and mind like a zombie puppet master. How, you ask? First, the female Sacculina larva injects herself into a crab using a needle-like stylet. Imagine a living syringe.
Oh.
Do you want me to keep going?
I think I was gagging too much.
Cool. She then sheds her shell and invades the crab's insides, spreading root-like tendrils throughout the crab's body, wrapping around organs, even the nervous system, to control the host crab's behavior.
That sounds super gross, and I can't look away. It's literally a barnacle that turns a crab into a zombie incubator. What happens to the poor crab next?
Things get even weirder. Once the Sacculina is snug inside, it castrates the crab. The crab's reproductive organs shut down and wither away. No more little crabbies for that host. All its energy is now serving the parasite. The crab can't even molt or grow new limbs anymore. Sacculina effectively says to it, "You won't be needing that shell or dating life, buddy. You work for me now." And if the host is male, oh boy. Or should I say, oh girl. The parasite feminizes him, hormonally and physically. His abdomen widens, his behavior changes, and he starts acting like a female crab ready to raise babies. Both male and female hosts begin carrying the parasite's egg-filled sacs under their bellies and tending to it as if it were their own brood. Picture a zombie crab proudly babysitting a squishy yellow sac full of parasite larvae. Horrifying, right? When those parasite babies are ready to launch, the crab climbs up and performs a creepy little dance, shaking loose a cloud of Sacculina larvae into the water.
Talk about dancing on your strings. It's pretty gross. I don't like that.
It's gross? I think it's cool.
I don't like squishy. I don't like hijacking. It's kind of weird that it knocks out all of the crab's natural processes, so all the energy can be used for raising larvae.
Yeah, I think the molting thing is fascinating to me, that it stops them from molting, so they don't actually ever grow again. But how long does that Sacculina survive in the crab? just one egg sac worth, or is it just going to keep doing this in the crab over and over and over again?
Ooh, that's a good question. It still lives out its life cycle. It just can't reproduce in molds anymore or do any of its normal life processes. So it just gets hijacked for life.
Wow. And then it just keeps having saculina parasite egg sac
I
over and
think
over and over
so.
again? Wow. Fascinating.
Gross.
Fascinating.
And gross.
And fascinating. And cool.
So
And I want to touch one.
Ew. Yeah,
rather
you'd
not
have to do a
touch.
dance and shake them out of your booty.
I mean, I can dance, but not to shake parasites out of my booty.
Stick around. After the next segment on history and folklore, we'll dive into how this parasite could theoretically zombify you in our speculative science showdown. So we've talked about how this parasite turns a snail into a pulsing, glittery bait ball for birds, but humans have been living with parasites and the fear of the invisible body invaders for a long time. Way before we had microscopes or Latin names, people still knew something that could crawl inside of you, change your behavior, and make you not quite yourself.
Without the luxury of lab coats and gross out YouTube videos, people explained those changes the only way they could. Curses, spirits, demons, or some weird forest magic that probably involved a goat.
Which honestly might still be accurate.
True.
So in this segment, we're going to look at the myths, legends, and cultural lore that may have sprung up from real parasitic infections before we had the words for them, because sometimes what people call possession or madness was probably just a protozoan throwing a rave in someone's nervous system.
Or it was a fluke in your liver whispering, "Go climb that blade of grass. Just trust me.
Just trust me.
Just trust me."
Let's get into it. We aren't the first humans to squirm at the idea of worms. Parasites have shaped history, belief systems, and medical folklore for millennia, and sometimes those demons of old were just wriggling in the wrong place. Let's dig into other parasites in history, superstition, and culture. Parasitic infections have plagued humanity for millennia, and their influence can be found in everything from ancient symbols to enduring taboos.
One infamous human parasite is the guinea worm, the fiery serpent and the staff of Asclepius. One infamous human parasite is the guinea worm, a nematode that burrows under the skin and can grow up to 3 feet long. Ancient civilizations were sadly familiar with the sight of these worms emerging from the body. The calcified guinea worm was even discovered in a 3,000-year-old Egyptian mummy. Do you think
That's
it was
cool.
one that they were about to eat?
I hope so.
Who knows? Maybe there's a painting with guinea worm DNA in it somewhere. Many scholars believe the fiery serpents afflicting the Israelites in the Bible may actually have been guinea worms, which cause burning ulcers as they break through the skin. Remarkably, the traditional cure for guinea worm was to slowly pull it out by winding it around a stick, a tedious, painful process done over days or weeks. This age-old practice may have inspired the most iconic symbol of healing, the staff of Asclepius.
Asclepius, I think?
Asclepius? The staff. It's a serpent coiled around a rod. And if you're a veterinarian, it has wings, used in medical logos. Some historians suggest that the serpent on the staff wasn't a snake at all, but a representation of a guinea worm being extracted. If true, one of medicine's proud symbols has parasitic origins, a reminder of how deeply these creatures have been entwined with human history.
Whoa, I didn't know that. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, wild.
And gross. I just
And
love that
cool.
you have, I just love that you have to walk around for weeks at a time with a big stick taped to your arm or whatever. And then there's a giant, disgusting worm wrapped around the stick. And then every day you just twist it just a little bit at a time so you can slowly pull it out. Because if you pull them out too quickly, I guess they break and probably reproduce. So,
Well, it's probably going to set up a gigantic inflammatory reaction if you pop one of those under your skin.
ugh, it's pretty gross. While Leucochloridium itself wasn't known by name in ancient times, the idea of worms, spirits, or demons controlling minds shows up everywhere. In medieval Europe, people believed insanity or erratic behavior was often caused by toadstones, demons, or parasites in the brain, like the mythical brainworm that made people dance or act strangely. In Norse mythology, the goddess Hel was sometimes associated with rot and disease from within, possibly inspired by parasitic diseases that waste away the body. And in Haitian voodoo, where zombie lore originates, the zombie astral refers to a spirit that can be captured and used, often explained later by scientists as poisoning or illness mimicking mindless behavior, possibly parasitic or infectious in nature. In more modern history, 18th century accounts describe sheep and cows acting strange, trembling and wandering, often explained by lunacy, which today may be understood as liver flukes or brain parasites affecting livestock. And even biblical references to people being possessed or driven mad may have been attempts to describe early observations of parasitic infections in the brain, without the disco eyeball worm visuals, of course.
I feel like if they'd seen a snail with a glowing alien tentacle wiggling out of its face, they would have just packed up civilization and called it a day. I wouldn't say that.
Ugh. You think they'd think it was cool?
I mean, they probably have seen that snail.
I mean, they may have weird wiggling disco balls in their eyeball tentacles too.
Yeah. Like, why discriminate? Why do we gotta hate on disco ball snail wiggles? Throbbing.
Ew, don't say Ugh. Do you have some culture and folklore stories that you want to share?
I mean, the theory that eating habits or religions that eschew meats like pork are related to early cultures noticing that people became ill after eating certain types of meat from parasitic infections. And so instead of just making sure that everyone cooked all that all the time, they just decided as a culture to make it prohibited to eat those particular animals. And then it turned into doctrine. I think it's interesting how we as humans will notice something is bad for us and then decide that nobody should do it. I think
Is that how it started?
That's a theory.
I wonder if this was before they knew that cooking would have solved this issue, and so the next best option was to just ban it or bar it altogether.
It's not just what animal you're eating, but how it dies. Like, they have to be bled. You can't kill them any other way, and they have to be bled in an area that is properly religiously prepared.
I have some possible health and environmental reasons that are speculative that may contribute possibly to why some of these became doctrine.
It's all theory. Nobody can prove it, right? Because it was a million years ago, thousands and thousands of years ago.
So while not the primary reason, some scholars suggest that pigs were scavengers, often eating waste, which could lead to disease. And in hot climates without refrigeration, pork spoils quickly, increasing the risk of parasites and trichinosis. And raising pigs was inefficient in arid regions compared to animals like sheep and goats. However, these are all post hoc rationalizations and not the explicit reason given in sacred texts. It was banned in certain traditions, primarily because scripture said not to. The dietary law reinforces spiritual purity, obedience, and cultural identity, and health or environmental logic may have played a supporting role but was never the main driver. It's mysterious.
Mysterious.
There are some cultures where they didn't know that boiling water would make it safe, so they just drink beer instead, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, yeah, there's a lot of ancient cultures that drank alcohol or watered down alcohol instead. I mean, not even that ancient, right? In medieval Europe, they would drink watered wine. Even the children would drink watered wine because it was safer than just drinking their regular shit-filled water sources.
Hell yeah, that's what I did in Mexico.
Hygiene ain't that great in medieval England.
But the thing is, all that alcohol is kind of dehydrating, though, the problem.
But if you're just like drinking vats of watered wine, it probably evens it out.
And that's it for history and folklore, proof that parasites have been crawling through both our bodies and our imaginations for centuries. Whether it was spirits, curses, or mysterious madness, humans have always tried to explain the horror of losing control from the inside out.
But now that we do know what's lurking in the shadows and the eyeballs, it makes you wonder what happens if one of these mind control freaks breaks the rules.
Coming up next, a look at what could happen if Leucochloridium took its axe to a bigger stage. No bites, no rabies, just brain-hacking worm with ambition, and a very gross sense of style. Haha! Okay, Stacy, it's time for the Will It Zombie part of the show, where we take a real organism or parasite, cranks a nightmare dial up to 11, and decide what it takes to create an actual zombie apocalypse. So we talked about a few different parasites this episode, and I was thinking you probably had a favorite. So between the disco ball snail parasite, Leucochloridium paradoxum, or horsehair worm, Nematomorpha, or the castrating barnacle, Saculina carcini, which one would you choose to be your top contender for a zombie apocalypse?
Definitely the horsehair worm, number 2. Definitely.
Haha, you sent number 2.
Number 2! You're the one that put them in that order. It's your fault. Nice.
Sorry. Okay, poop jokes. I think horsehair worm is fair. Plus, I call it buttworm, though. Is that a good nickname?
I mean, I
Buttworm?
guess you can call many of the parasites that could be discussed in this context buttworms.
But also like
Disgusting.
suicidal buttworm.
Suicidal buttworm.
Yeah.
I
Well, it's
mean-
suiciding buttworm because it causes you to commit suicide, not the buttworm itself. There's this web part here that says low apocalypse score, high vomit score, and I agree with that.
Yeah, that does sound right.
I'm dying to know what your score is for the willet zombie for the buttworm. I mean horsehair worm.
I mean, as of all of the parasites that we talked about, I think there's potential, right? There's potential here. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be discussing it. But in the grand scheme of willet zombie, I'm going to have to go really low for these friends. As much as I love Kingdom, and I love the idea of a worm piloting a person to go do something crazy, I'm going to have to go low. A 2.
A 2?
A 2, yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. Poor buttworm. I mean,
Buttworm is never going to pass.
Kingdom was pretty righteous, but the science to get there, I think, would be pretty difficult.
Yeah, 2.
Fair.
Number 2 for you.
Number 2.
From the
Number
buttworm.
2 for the buttworm. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I also feel like parasitic infections, they would be super dope for the concept, and just like in pop culture ones that we've seen, I think they look cool and the concept is fantastic, but evolutionary speaking and mutation wise, I just feel like they are at a disadvantage because they're not like a single cellular organism or a virus particle, so the chances for it to mutate is so much lower, right?
It's a really tall order to try to get it done with these particular things.
I'm gonna go 2.5 to 3 on this one, but
You're always so optimistic. You're always showing me up with your optimism.
I mean, I wouldn't call that optimism, to be honest with you, but
A 2.5 to a 3?
yeah, it's more like, a strong desire for an apocalypse, so I don't think normal people would call that optimistic at all.
Oh, okay.
Fatalistic?
You're right. Fatalistic? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are we normal people? And if so, I wish somebody would have told me 40 years ago.
You're only 23.
Damn it, I keep doing it.
Yeah, you like vintage. You are not vintage.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think we're normal, though, because I feel like if we were the normal average people, like, there would be so many more people listening to the podcast.
What is the definition of normal? Is it everyone that doesn't have a hair worm in their butt?
No, because, if you did, you would still be a normal human. It's not your fault.
Well, is being not normal something that someone is at fault for themselves? Or is it just who they are? Maybe if who you are is somebody that carries around a buttworm.
Ugh, gross. However, can you give us a scientific scenario about how this would happen? Okay, so we all know that bacteria, think about flu virus, that mutates all day, every day, and every year we have to get a new vaccine because it mutates so quickly. And then they have to guess, and then there's like a couple variants. But how many years has it been since a parasite evolved, changed, and mutated and adapted? And what would it take to get it to change that drastically that it can overtake a human?
Well, just skimming the surface of that question, usually the parasites adapt and change and evolve along with the host species. So if we're going to really stretch our brains to come up with something, I mean, I guess it would have to be we already have a flavor of parasite, and together something changes in our mutual evolutionary track that happens to be a perfect storm to allow that parasite to grab full control of our brain's nervous systems, GI tracts, all of our metabolic functions.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out two scenarios. Number one,
Okay, you already have it.
there's an organism that we have encountered before, and something drastic happens to humanity, climate, evolution, nuclear war, whatever it is that prompts change. Or number 2, which I like a little bit better, is what if there's an organism out there that we don't know about? What if there's one that hasn't been studied in a country that doesn't have the scientific advances that some more developed countries have? And what if they've been dealing with it for millennia and we just didn't know about it? So we discovered this organism, and then it already exists, so it doesn't have to mutate far from what it already is. And then for whatever reason, because it advances in travel or tourism, things like that, or maybe even climate change will push us farther north into places that were normally uninhabitable, now are warmer. Glaciers and other icy parts of the world are melting, and we encounter things that are being thawed, or things that are living in places currently that don't have a high population. And so that's how we encounter this organism.
I'm always a big fan of the permafrost end of the world arc. That something's gonna melt and then that's it, we're done. I like that.
Heck yeah. So here's the thing, you only give this thing, what did you give it, a 2.5?
No, you gave it a 2.5. I gave it a 2.
Oh, that's pretty sad. I gave it a 2.5 to 3, so I'm going to call that a 2.75. Maybe that's a little too many digits. I don't care if that's too many decimal places. Here's what I want to know. Like, out of all the ones that we've talked about so far, this is still the best score that you can get? This is still the best one?
Yeah, I mean, nothing for me right now is going to beat the prions, score-wise.
Oh, yeah, that's totally fair. I agree with you there. I meant, like, parasitic-wise, we've talked about, the zombie snail thing, the disco ball snail eyeballs. And then...
Of the 3.
Yeah, and that evolutionary trait attracts predators just, I don't know, by the worm hiding behind the eyeball thing. But then what about the castrating barnacle? I thought that was pretty cool because it hijacks the entire host and uses it as a shell. I mean,
they're all really cool.
The horsehair one,
very cool,
does too, for a transport mechanism to water. So
yeah, there's a lot of hijacking here.
And behavioral modification, it takes over your brain control. You're like your very own power of consciousness and desire and will. It takes away your will.
Just like my iPhone.
Oh,
sorry.
My God. Sorry.
So the horsehair worm wins the most likely to start a zombie apocalypse out of the 3 parasites that we've just discussed. But in the grand scheme of zombie apocalypse starting, it's exceedingly low on our scale out of 2.
And 2.75. We shouldn't even average ours, because sometimes I feel like mine would be way higher. I can't wait for some of the ones coming up.
You're gonna fuck up the curve all over again? You're always fucking up the curve.
But even though it's most likely to start a zombie apocalypse with these few organisms overall, I think parasites are probably our lowest likely to start the zombie apocalypse in general.
Yeah, I agree. They're fun to talk about, but the likelihood is really, really low.
And worms have way more cells than, like, an amoeba or a protozoa or a bacterium.
I love that you just said that.
Well, what else am I supposed to say?
No, I like bacterium. I was thinking that you qualified that worms have more cells than a bacteria.
Oh.
Ooh, it's funny.
I mean, they do.
No, you're right. You're extremely correct.
And it's just easier to mutate yourself if there's only one fragment or one iteration of you than like a network of thousands. You know what I'm saying.
I do. I totally do. And that's why I said I liked it.
Okay. So that's a disappointing score for a pretty gross organism that I really hate. And that's horsehair worm. Creepy, cinematic, and absolutely nightmare fuel, but not exactly a world-ending threat.
Right. It's terrifying if you're a cricket, but for humans, you're safe. Unless your worst fear is surprise noodle snakes in your bathwater.
Yeah, that is a big fear of mine, actually. So it gets points for psychological horror. I mean, driving a host to suicide just to crawl out dramatically, that's some A24 level storytelling.
But zombie apocalypse material? Nah. This one's a 6-inch horror movie cameo, not a pandemic starter. I can't. This one is a 6-inch horror movie cameo. Wink, wink.
We'll give it a 2 or 3-ish on the zombie scale. It's pure nightmare fuel, but not contagious enough to make you barricade your windows. Still, next time you see a cricket doing a backstroke in a puddle, maybe just let it drown. Unless you're Stacy, because I know you'd save it.
I totally try to save it. But, at least it's not alone.
Because you jump in there and let your buttworms come out in the puddle too?
I was thinking its buttworms are with it, but...
Oh! And that's the end of part 1 of our Parasite trilogy. We meet disco ball-eyed snails, suicidal crickets, horsehair worms, and crabs that double as daycare centers for barnacle babies. If your skin is still crawling, congratulations, you're officially one of us.
Parasites are nature's ultimate puppeteers, and we've only just scratched the surface.
That's right, this was just the opening act. Coming up in part 2, we're going even deeper into the infestation with graphic real-world case studies, even more nightmare fuel, and some parasites too gnarly for today's episode.
Basically, part 2 is where Amber gags a lot, and I try not to laugh.
That's so true, too.
It's so true.
Yeah, you're welcome in advance. If you survived today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share us with your bravest friends. The ones who eat while listening to true crime podcasts.
And if you want the full uncut Parasite experience, head to our Patreon. We'll have extra stories, behind-the-scenes science, and maybe even a gag reel. Literally.
Part 2 drops next week, but if you're feeling brave, cue it up early. Or maybe just don't eat beforehand.
Yeah. Pro tip, headphones, not speakers, if the people around you have sensitive stomachs.
They tried to bury us.
But parasites know how to crawl back out of your butt.
I hate that. That makes me feel ooey.
That has to be a soundbite through everything. That makes me feel ooey. Yes, please. The barnacle daycare visual is never leaving my brain.
Barnacle Baby Bjorn. We're making merch. Okay, one more listener shout out for this episode. I'll let Stacy introduce her, and we want to say what's up.
Yeah, what's up, Pia in Oregon? I just received this review of the rabies episode from Pia. Pia wonders, is it an exciting place in Amber's mind or a terrifying one? The way she talks makes me think it's exciting. However, it would make me terrified. Thanks, Pia, for listening.
That's fucking funny. I love it. Cool. All right. Thanks, Pia. Thanks for listening. We appreciate all you listeners out there. What's up?
Sending you gross hugs.
Yeah, gross hugs. Squishy hugs.
Squishy gross hugs.
Anyway, if you want to send us a message, our email address is mutanthollowpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to get a shout out, that's what's up.
Or follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads,
Facebook,
the usual.
Patreon. I don't know.
Patreon. So many things. The social medias.
Squelchy growls into the void. Any one of those.
Squelchy's a good word. Hey, and don't be mean to us. We're fragile.
Yeah, we're fragile, bitches. I guess that's not a good way to convince people that we're fragile.
Want to fight?
Oh, shit.
Rivers of blood.
Bye!
Bye!
Just trust me.
Swollen, writhing tentacles now resemble a juicy caterpillar or grub. It just, grosses me out in a special kind of way.
Wanted to say swollen, writhing tentacles over and over again, didn't you? Swollen,
really
writhing
did.
tentacles.
I love it.
Our smut fantasy writers should take that line and go crazy with it.
Fanfic.
Fan fiction. Swollen, writhing tentacles with throbbing brood sacs. Parasites are really fascinating, but also really distressing. I mean, technically, you shouldn't eat raw meat, right? This coming from the girl who eats sushi and oysters constantly.
Ugh, I'm raw dogging this shit.
I know that that's now, just part of the vernacular. I know that raw dog just means doing it without preparation and or naked or without headphones in when you're going to Costco. That's a thing that people say is raw dogging. But I don't know. Maybe my brain doesn't change language as quickly as our culture does now. And so all I can see and hear when just random people say raw dogging it is what the original meaning of that term was. And it's distressing to me that we're using it we're just raw dogging it all the time. And everything, and that just doesn't seem right.
I
Am I
mean,
being crazy?
I know like what it's supposed to mean, but in my mind it flashes an image of like somebody with uncooked hot dogs getting slapped in the face with like a handful of uncooked hot dogs or something.
God, that's so good. Now I'm going to picture that every time.
I hope
A
you do.
handful of raw hot dogs.
It's a lot less offensive in your mind that way too.
Yeah, that's
So,
hilarious.
Ain't nobody want to think about wieners, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, but a handful of wieners is entertaining.
Fuck yeah. Oh, speaking of parasitic worms.
Oh, you mean we actually want to focus?
No.
No. And I believe you. Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm already nauseous.
Already?
Yeah.
Was it the 2 cups of coffee?
No, it was the parasites.
Be honest. Do you find me annoying?
Are you guys mad at me?
I know you're busy, but I just wanted to know. Do you like me? Why don't you like me? Right now, I'm scratching my armpit. Can you hear it?
It sounds really hairy.
Noise. Now I feel like I've done something bad.
You are bad. You're so bad.
I'm bad. So bad.
Oh. Oh my god.
No balls in general.
Oh no.
Gonads.
I
Sand
wish-
gonads.
So gross.
Wait, pigeons are sky rats? Is that right? Sky rats?
No, they're not.
No, they're super cute. And crows too. Crows are the best.
I love crows.
Corvids are fantastic.
It's disgusting. Poop ambrosia. I can't. Parasite infected poop ambrosia. I can't. I can't.
That's our new fine dining restaurant.
This grossed me out. I can't.
Maybe we should do this episode in 15-minute sections just to let your poor sad GI tract rest.
I am so excited to get this shit over with. I can't even tell you. I'm gonna raw dog this shit until I barf,
Oh my God.
and then it'll be done.
I am smacking you in the face with a fistful of raw dogs. Shut up.
Oh.
That would be like Meat Slap Monday. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh my god, that's my favorite. So the cat really likes firm pats, right? Like, he likes to get thumped.
Oh,
And so
okay.
on Mondays, they go find him wherever he is. And they do a Meat Slap Monday, and they sing him a song, and they whacked him. Whack, 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 whack. And it does sound... There's a very satisfying slapping sound. So, I think...
I will not be Googling that.
I made some poor choices.
Oh no.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, this is inappropriate, Stacy.
It's smacking his meat.
Oh no. Inappropriate. Inappropriate.
It's the most important day of the week. Finding your cat, smacking his meat. Okay, I sent it to you.
Thank
I
you.
hope you appreciate that.
I feel uncomfortable.
You should.
Okay.
Watch it.
Snail talks. Pulsates up to 80 times. What? Oh no. We're almost done. We're doing it. Okay. Okay, back on track. 80 times per minute. To draw the gaze of even the... One more time. Oh god.
You got through it.
Ugh.
Pulsating parasite sacs.
Don't.
Really good. Really good stuff. Now, I'm going to take full advantage of this, for our future relationship.
Ugh.
This is going to be a thing that I am going to bring up randomly.
I really hope you
Just
don't.
for the entertainment value.
Not necessary. No, thank you.
No, I think it's necessary. And I think it's actually required.
Nope. Ugh. Okay. I'm okay. Everything's fine.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
God.
I was
This
going
makes
to talk
me-
about the hairworms, too, because I find them fascinating.
Don't say hairworm.
Oh, my God.
Oh my fucking
We're talking
God.
about it.
I can't. You're full of parasitic worms. Contagious.
Actually, that's probably true. I mean, I am a veterinarian, right? We're exposed to all kinds of shit.
Oh, God.
Probably all kinds of little friends in my guts.
Yeah, I have,
only
like-
have 2.
You do? What are they?
Yeah. I have Sisters of Mercy, and I have Bauhaus.
Oh, you're so cute.
No,
I've
that's
got-
not true. I have a Misfits shirt.
Oh, I'm
Just
so
like
glad
you,
that you
just
said
like
that because I have 15 to 20 Misfit shirts
Nice.
because I'm weird like that. But I also have like Grateful Dead and Led Zeppelin and Janis Joplin and some other, like a
Layers.
couple Tool shirts and shit.
You
Like
got
an
layers.
onion.
Like an onion.
Ha
I have a lot of Star Wars t-shirts. Like, if we're talking graphic tees in my closet, I would say that Star Wars is overrepresented.
Nice. I have some horror movie shirts, but they're like little cutesy ones, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Your Hellraiser shirt's pretty cute.
Yeah, I like that one. I've had that one for a very long time. Like, early 90s. When did Hellraiser come out?
Oh, it's been a while.
Hellraiser. 1987. God damn, dude.
Wow, that's been a while. But of course, you're not old enough to have seen it when it came out, don't worry.
Actually,
do you want
I was a little young to watch it when it came out.
Okay, let me wipe my eyes, then I'll read.
Yeah.
I'll start the next paragraph.
Okay.
Wow, this is intense.
You're doing great. This next
How do you
paragraph
do
is
your
fascinating.
job? As soon as I would see a worm coming out of a butt, it would be over. It would be
Dude.
over.
One of my favorite things are maggots and cuterebra. I love that.
Ew, why do you love maggots? What's a cuterebra?
What's a cuterebra? What's a cuterebra? Oh, darling. I don't know if you're ready for that.
I'm so ready.
They're botflies. Botfly larvae? Is it
Oh
cuterebra?
no.
Yeah, so they just lay their eggs on your skin, and then the skin turns into a larva, or the egg turns into a larva, and then it burrows down into your skin, and it makes itself a little happy capsule, but there's a hole where it can stick its butt out to breathe, and they get really big. And you have to, when you're trying to take them out, you have to catch them when their butt comes out to breathe, but you also can't, like, puncture them, because if you puncture them and that material gets through the capsule, it can cause a severe anaphylactic reaction. So you have to very delicately grab said worm and very delicately pull it out of the tiny hole. But often it's like 3 or 4 times the diameter of the hole. So you have to squeeze it through the little hole in the skin.
What?
And then it's like a big fat maggot. They're so fun. I love them.
Great story.
Humans can get them too.
Okay, so glad. I don't like this anymore.
I would like you to keep that clip.
Okay, let me get this together. Hold on. Okay. Why does that make my ears all teary? I don't know. Okay, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Your ears are tearing?
Yeah, it makes my eyes water. Okay, this is fun.
I can send you pictures.
Don't.
Are you sure?
If it gets gross, just take over.
I mean, if you go bleh too many times, I'll take over. How about that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was holding my breath.
Just in case.
I don't know. Okay. Everything's fine. That was great. Everything's fine.
You're doing great.
Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna hit stop and restart because I just want to cry a little while.
Yeah, you can cry. That's fine.
Thank you.
I support you.
She did do that in the movie. She just didn't die of a parasite infection immediately. And
If she died of a parasite infection, it would have made the movie better.
Oh. Not if we had to watch the parasites coming out of her butt.
Oh no, that definitely would have made it better. That would have been like, I would have bought it. I would have seen it in the theaters when that was still a thing a few times. Yeah, it would have been on my list of most fun movies.
Hell yeah, you're right. I'll give you that.
If we have to sit through sparkly vampires, we might as well get the gift of sitting through giant parasites coming out of them.
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
It'd be pretty dope. And I did it, because I do what you tell me.
Okay, I love you,
I do
bye.
what you say. Okay, bye. No.
Sorry.
Fuck.
Oh,
Do you want to do it again? Do you want me to keep going?
I think I was gagging too much.
Cool.
It's pretty gross.
Oh,
I don't like
that's
that.
It's gross? I think it's
Yeah.
cool. Fascinating.
Gross.
Fascinating.
And gross.
And fascinating. And cool.
So
And I want to touch one.
Ew. I was just gonna say that if we ever encountered one that somehow mutated or remutated to accommodate it and it hijacked our brain, then you would no longer be able to molt and you would be popping out larvae, parasite babies for life.
I'm cool with the not molting thing. That's fine. But the parasite baby things, I'm not into that part of it.
Yeah, you'd have to do a dance and shake them out of your booty.
I mean, I can dance, but not to shake parasites out of my booty. Well, maybe. Some of them are really itchy, like pinworm. Maybe a little wiggle.
What?
A little wiggle.
No, can you tell the listeners how to test pinworms in your children for an easy at-home test if they have itchy buttholes?
Yeah, you take a piece of Scotch tape.
What?
This is another reason why I don't have human children. You take a piece of Scotch tape, and at night, because they only come out at night, you put the Scotch tape on your child's butthole, and then you look at it. And if you see little wormy worms on there, they look like little teeny, tiny grains of rice, congratulations, your child has pinworms. And I would like you to take your child and the tape to a pediatrician and tell them I sent you. Scotch tape it. Find out.
That's pretty gnarly.
Please, listeners, do not send us pictures of your Scotch tape.
No.
We do not want to see it.
I would not be cool with that at all, really.
Is that too formal, too forward of me? Like I shouldn't be asking that question.
You're so forward.
Really? You don't, treat it? You just, say, hey, your asshole's gonna itch for a while. Good luck out there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, pinworms are super common. Have you ever had an itchy butthole, Stacey?
I mean, I'm sure. A particular instance right now, but throbbing.
Ew, don't. Oh, I'm gonna burp. Every time I get gagging, it makes me want to burp a bunch, and then eventually I think the puke comes out.
No, please don't. Please don't puke. I feel responsible.
You should, because you should.
I'm letting you breathe a bit.
Thank you. This says the hairworm takes over a cricket, drives it to drown itself, and then emerges like a wriggly nightmare spaghetti noodle. And so now I can't eat spaghetti anymore.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Ugh, I hate parasites.
Do you think we can call it a buttworm if we're talking about an insect orifice and not a mammal type of orifice?
Well, now I just picture that girl from Twilight jumping in the ocean and the buttworms exploding from her butt, so...
I do not remember that.
Oh, God.
I mean, it sounds fantastic, and I wish that was part of that film.
Oh, yeah.
And/or book.
But, okay, so, birds have a cloaca, and humans have butts for buttworms. What do bugs have?
I'm Googling that answer right now. What do you call an insect's butt?
Hole. Butthole.
Butthole.
Where the poop comes out.
This is, AI, just for entertainment value, Google's AI says, an insect's butt is called the abdomen.
Will you ask it butthole specifically?
Yes. Why does it suck so bad? Scientifically, an insect's butthole is scientifically called the anus.
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 See, I told you it was a buttworm.
Yeah, you're right. What is the outside called? I was thinking its buttworms are with it, but...
Oh!
Okay, that too. Or no, it must be an anus. Okay, now we know. We just learned something.
Thank God.
What was that thing that used to be on TV all the time with the PSAs? The more you know, and it was the star.
You know. Yeah.
And the rainbow. Yeah, remember that. The more you know. And then, reading Rainbow, is that right? It used to come on with Geordie LaForge.
I can be anything. Take a look. It's in a book. We're reading Rainbow.
So good.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of time travel lately.
Yeah. Usually I can keep up, but sometimes I get lost in the multiverse.
And sometimes we're in the future, like right now.
Right now we're in the future. Going back in time.
You already did that song in the past.
Did I really? Again? Shit.
Again? And wait, it is in the future for... Oh, man, I don't know.
Oh, no.
I'm also unclear on the timeline. Can you say horsehair?
Focus.
Focus?
Focus.
Yeah, say it. We need more friends.
Oh, that's gonna be really tall order.
I know.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
He wants to hang out with me because I want to talk about death all the time. And every once in a while I go, river runs blood, or whatever you said. What was it?
Rivers running with blood. I don't know. I don't remember. It was in the moment.
It was a good one too. Don't worry, I copy-pasted it into multiple episodes.
Did you really?
Yeah. I loved it. I want to make it my ringtone. It's like, hi, my name is Stacy. River runs blood. Anyway, it was nice to meet you. And then, like, your eyeballs turn a different color when you do that, and everybody's like, what the fuck? And you have no idea it happened.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, what were you talking about? Okay.
I fucking forgot. I was referring to this whole story with the one feline obtained.
Meow.
If I squeeze her, she might meow. She's mad. She's got the mads. Focus, focus. What are we doing?
Focus.
But parasites know how to crawl back out of your butt.
I hate that. That makes me feel ooey.
That has to be a soundbite through everything. That makes me feel ooey. Yes, please. You have to save that and put it everywhere. I would carry the cat around in a barnacle baby Bjorn if he made me one.
It's for parasites, though.
I mean, she kind of is.
Well, she's too cute to be a parasite.
Is she mean?
She's not mean.
She's mean. She bites me all the time.
She does?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not her daddy. Pretty much that's the problem.
Oh. Does she ever bite him?
Very gently.
Oh. What up, bitches? Done. That's our intro.
Oh, no.
Great idea. Okay, so... Anyway.
Oh my god, yes. Sorry, my knee hurt. I moved it.
Oh, I was like, man, you're really fucking excited.
I was channeling pain.
I'm gonna roll with that. Okay. I stalk set.
How long is your gag track?
I don't fucking know, but it's gonna be long as fucking. I thought we were done with this. Now I'm almost like, oh my god. Okay.
It's your fault. 100%.
Okay. I stalked. I can do this. It's fine.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you totally can. Did I have vet school parasite tales?
You were soliciting strangers for shit bags of shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Bags of shit
right.
bags.
Shit bags.
Could I please have some shit? Some poop? Can I please have some of your poop, sir or ma'am?
Please don't think I'm weird. I'm just a poor college student.
You're fucking weird.
I totally forgot that we had that whole recording.
Yeah. Aren't you so happy that I save all of your most embarrassing tales? Like, I'm not talking about your collection of poop. I might put that in a main. But, like, your brownie butt story, I saved for only paying members of Patreon.
I don't remember that one.
You didn't listen to the episode yet?
I listened part of it. Remember I told you I was going to finish it later?
Oh, I forgot. Well, spoiler alert.
Read that intro so hard it sticks out of an orifice.
What the fuck, Stacey?
I don't know. It was a nose hair thing. No.
Oh my god. Focus.
Yeah. Doing it.
The Puppet Master. Will you sing the Puppet Master song?
Oh my god, I was trying to think of the words for it. The Metallica one?
Yeah. Will you look it up?
Oh my god.
It's important. It's for science.
Okay. Is it the one that's imprisoning me? All that I see. That one? Is it that one?
Yeah. I can live.
It is that one?
I can die.
Yeah.
No, that's one.
Yeah. Okay, here's the... Oh, God, I don't sing.
Fuck yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
You'll love it, too.
I've never actually read these lyrics.
Have you read the book, Johnny Got His Gun, and then read the lyrics for one?
Master?
Yeah. Master.
Life burns faster.
Obey.
And pulling your strings. Twisting your mind and smashing your dreams. No, we are really old. I can't do it.
No, we're not.
I mean, we're singing Metallica songs, dude.
They're still a thing today. They're still huge
Metallica
today.
was old when we were teenagers.
Yeah, but they're still touring huge stadiums right now.
Seriously?
Yes.
Right now?
Yeah, they're literally selling out huge arenas right now. My friend just went to a show with his son.
Oh, I went to a Metallica show like in the 90s when they released their newest album, and everybody was so pissed, right? But it was the one that we all became familiar with in our generation.
Are you talking about Load?
90s. Was it Load album?
I ever got pissed off
know.
about Load. Anyway, we're almost fucking... Jesus Christ. Stop talking.
We did it again. We
Oh my god.
Wow. No,
Okay.
it was Black. It was the Black album, right? 91? Yeah.
Master of Puppets album?
Yeah.
Oh, Black album?
The Black
Is the
album.
name
Yeah,
of
with
the
Inner Sandman. Nothing Else Matters. Nothing Else Matters. Yeah. The Black album.
It's
Oh,
not,
God.
it's not how they didn't say it. It's like, and nothing else matters.
Yeah, I don't think that's good.
Never care for what they say.
Never care for what they do.
Yes. Okay. Here we go.
Fuck.
Okay, we literally have one more line. Just that
I
for this.
can't
We just
get
have
this-
one more fucking line. That's it.
Okay. All right. Wow. What is wrong with us?
I don't know. Okay.
Somebody diagnose our issues, please. We need to know what's happening.
No.
Diagnose me.
No.
All masked, right? So don't tell me what's going on. I don't need to know.
You just said please diagnose me.
I know I lied. I don't really
Oh.
want you to.
Okay, sorry.
Don't tell me. I'm fine.
Okay.
Did you know, like in the 1930s to 1950s, if a wife was diagnosed with cancer, the doctor would not tell her. They would tell the husband and advise the husband not to tell the wife that they
Ugh,
were
for fuck's
terminally
sake.
ill. Is that just not the most fucked up thing that you've ever heard?
I don't want to get
Whew.
into this right now. I literally have
Whew.
one line left.
Okay, sorry.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Okay, thank God.
They
We
are the
fucking did
window
it.
to the soul. You did it. I'm so
Fucking
proud.
A.
Oh.
But researchers have witnessed up to... Sorry. Okay. I can't. This is good. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Researchers have witnessed up to 32 worms spilling out. You do
want
it.
to Say that sentence.
Will you do it?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Are you okay? Are you okay? You're doing great.
I don't like this anymore.
I would like you to keep that clip.
In some streams, so many crickets turn into worm-driven suicides that they rain down. I can't. Okay, will you do it? It's
Sorry
not
for
funny,
laughing at your
Stacey.
discomfort. It's really. I know. I'm an asshole. It's not funny.
Ugh.
Me being a jerk.
Ugh.
You, girl, are in trouble.
Okay. I can't. Ugh, God, the disco and the eyeball. What?
It's really hard.
I can't even. A little. Anything that says disco ball.
This is gonna go great.
I feel like queasy.
Please don't puke while we're doing this. That would make me feel really sad for you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real. And it's disgusting. Let's go.
Ugh.
I'm so glad you're alive. The only other cooler option would be Walking Dead.
The puking noises.
Yeah, please. Please. No puking noises. I mean, go for the puking noises if you want to.
Okay. Stacy doesn't like it when I say our show's name too many times in a row.
Don't talk to me.
Do you think I could call our listeners bitches? Is that offensive?
I
'Cause
mean,
I mean
maybe
Lovingly.
zombie horde, zombie bitches, zombie horde bitches, zombies, zombie horde, zombies,
Oh, let's see. Welcome back, zombies. This is gonna be fun.
Welcome back.
Why do you do that all the
Go.
time? Why are you
Breathing?
always breathing? God, I just feel like if you're a proper zombie girl,
I wouldn't breathe or drink or
Yeah.
swallow or pee. Or
you
eat.
you would probably swallow because you'd be eating brains,
I'll eat anything. Any part of that human.
like the butt.
I mean, I guess it depends on how hard up I am.
Hard up.
Okay,
Get your shit together.
Get your shit together. I'm holding my breath.
Good. This will go well. But I might save a few and compile them at the end for those sickos among you who might find that kind of hilarious. And you're welcome.
A little paradoxum.
I
It's a
call him
flatworm.
Mr. Luco.
Mr. Luco. Respect my thoughts, high.
Focus.
Focus. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It
It's
says
a
starts out
larva.
with bird poop. Come on.
I know, it's really good. This is all your fault, and you're gagging about it.
I tried so hard not to fucking gag.
You did so good. Do you want me to say the word throbbing again to make you gag?
Like my ribs literally hurt.
Oh no. Ow, your butt.
I hate that. That makes me feel ooey. Are you guys mad at me?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Like this thing.
Bye.
Bye.
Make a zombie sound. Can you make it louder?
Be honest. Do you find me annoying?